Hi, Giovanni. Hi. It's all relaxed. Thank you so much for
Welcome.
being available. That's fantastic. So there have been during the lockdown many reports in social media and in newspapers talking about a recovery, whether dolphins are recovering during the lockdown because of COVID, and nature fights back, so to speak. And I'm reflecting a little bit on it because I think the word recovery is probably a little bit tricky, indicating to people that dolphins that might became rare over the past years are now increasing. So yeah, would you mind telling us a little bit about your experience about dolphin sightings during the lockdown, or in the region where you're studying? So tell us a little bit about the region you're studying dolphins right now at the moment, and your take on it.
Right. I think the story started from a report of dolphins returning to Venice. And there was this video showing dolphins approaching a port. And actually that was in southern Sardinia, in a totally different part of the Mediterranean, not in Venice, but it was claimed to be in some canal in Venice. And they also said that dolphins and swans returned to Venice. So dolphins were not there in the first place, and swans are normally there. There was nothing special about encountering swans in that area. So it was a little bit made up. And maybe it's a kind of fairy tale story, a kind of a search for something positive about the situation that happened during a terrible lockdown, and there was a sense of tragedy. And so people were probably looking for something positive, and a return of wildlife, of nature, flowering during the absence of humans. Sounded good. And so there is some truth about it. I'm not denying it, but not dolphins in particular. And dolphins exist in this area. I'm working now in the Northern Adriatic of the region of Veneto in Italy. So that includes the area of Venice. And we do see dolphins there almost every day. And there are some, but they are certainly not recovering. And 1 month of lockdown, that's about it. I mean, what the main impact of humans, which is fishing, particularly bottom trawling, stopped for about a month. That's about it. And then restarted. And it is now in full speed. And so those kind of impacts have only stopped for a short while. And that is not enough to let dolphins recover.
Well, that's interesting, Giovanni. The two things I would like to inquire from what you said. First of all, you said that you do see dolphins usually in the area of Veneto. And I think that's something which is not known to many people, in particular outside of the region or in wider Europe. So you say there is a kind of a dolphin population in the Northern Adriatic and in the region of Veneto. So how is the situation? How many dolphins are we talking about?
Dolphins in the Northern Adriatic generally are very well known because studies in this area started long ago, more than 30 years ago, on the Croatian side. And more recently, we started a study in the Italian side, on the Italian side of the Adriatic, in the region of Veneto, that wasn't very well known. And we didn't know how many dolphins we could find in that area. And we thought not many, because it is an area of tremendous human impact. It is one of the most intensively overfished areas around the world, and one with the highest impact of trawling, destructive bottom trawling. So, and plus eutrophication from the Po River, and industrial impact, and boat entry ship traffic. So not an area where one would expect to find many dolphins, of course. but there are still some, and these are bottlenose dolphins. There are many species of dolphins, and this is the most resilient, the most opportunistic dolphin, capable of standing high levels of human impact. So of the two species that used to be common in the Northern Adriatic, one has disappeared. That is the common dolphin, vanished completely. And the other one that is still living here and surviving is the most opportunistic, flexible dolphin species, the one that is able to stand high levels of human impact, and also very opportunistic animal that adapts to human impact, so that we see these dolphins following the fishing boats and taking fish from the nets and trying to survive in an area where there is little fish left for them. So this is the species that manages. Similar to foxes on land, or rats and wolves and all the opportunistic animals that are able to stand the high levels of human impact, and the other species are gone.
So you talked about a lot about fisheries and as a threat, but also about fisheries ceasing during the lockdown. I looked up the shipping data, and it was also reported that during the lockdown, the passenger ships and ferries, the traffic was reduced quite significantly compared to the cargo ships. And I'm wondering whether you think that a reduction in kind of the density of traffic, shipping traffic, would allow dolphins to approach areas maybe that you haven't seen dolphins in the past. That's kind of the myth which is also around. So can you confirm that? Have you spotted dolphins in regions you haven't seen over quite a certain period of time, for example, last few years? Or is this also kind of a fairy tale?
I think that it is a kind of fairy tale too, because yes, shipping has diminished and the intensity of traffic was lower for a while, but again, not long enough. And then it depends on the species that you are considering, because some cetacean species, whale and dolphin species, are highly sensible to noise. And other species, and that is the bottlenose dolphin, for instance, the species that survives in the Northern Adriatic, are less affected by noise, meaning not that they like it, but what they are really looking for is food. And where food is available, they may be present notwithstanding high levels of noise. The noise does affect them, but as long as food is available, they will be there. And we've seen these species survive and even thrive in areas highly exposed to noise just because there was a lot of food available. So in my view, when talking about this dolphin species in the Adriatic in particular, the main thing that matters is well, first, not killing them, not catching them in fishing gear, and sometimes they end up entangled in fishing gear and die. But also, most importantly, there must be enough food available. And the problem here is that we are fishing too much. There isn't fish enough to support large populations of dolphins and biodiversity generally. So these dolphins that we see here of the Veneto region are constantly searching for food, constantly busy looking for anything to eat. That's what they do here. They do not spend much time socializing or playing. People imagine dolphins always being happy because they smile all the time and playing and jumping. That's not what they do here. They are constantly searching for food. They are busy and there is little food available. And so not overfishing, not taking all the fish away from the sea is the main priority. And then comes noise and plastic and all the rest.
So Giovanni, just concluding from listening to you, because that's really interesting. First of all, dolphins in the Northern Adriatic have not recovered during COVID, the pandemic, because of a certain kind of decreased human activities. And second, to protect and conserve them for the future, fisheries have to be addressed and better managed in terms of reducing the impacts. So that's the conclusion. So basically what we've seen with the COVID reportings about dolphins being detected near the Venice harbor and area, I would say it can be interpreted as a reaction by people looking for some positive news, something inspiring. They wish to exist, but actually it's not what the truth is about.
Not what is truly happening. You're right, Nicky.
Okay, Giovanni, thank you so much for enlightening us about the dolphins' life in that area. Keep going. Thank you so much, Giovanni. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks. Ciao. Bye-bye.